Hey, it's Wednesday, and that means new comic books. Welcome to Haul Yeah Comics. My name is Nate, and I have issues. And today's issues are today's issues. These books just came out today, or at least I think some of them actually were on back order, but they're new to me. So these are the books I picked up today, November 20th, at my LCS. Before I get started, a quick shout out to Mages Comics and Games in Greenwood, Indiana. It's just a great store. If you're looking for an LCS and you're in the area, I highly recommend it. First book I picked up today was The Question, All Along the Watchtower, #1. I do like the character of The Question a lot. I'm not sure about Renee Montoya taking on the mantle of The Question, and I didn't read Absolute Power, which is what, all of these new all-in stories are coming out of, but I just love DC characters, and it's a #1, so I'm going to give it a shot, and we'll see after I read it whether or not it's one that I'm going to continue reading. Up next, from IDW, I've got Star Trek issue number 26. This is the B cover. Generally, I like to get the A cover of this series. I'm really behind on reading this, so I couldn't even tell you exactly what's going on. But I think both of the current ongoing Star Trek titles have been really good. So Star Trek and Star Trek Defiant are both books that I'm continuing to collect and read and enjoy, even though I've got a few in the backlog that I need to get caught up before I'm ready for this one. The new event that they're doing the countdown to is called Lore War, and I just love Data and his brother Lore, so I think I'm going to enjoy, I think I'll enjoy this when I do get caught up. Another book from DC, I've got Jenny Sparks. This is book number 4. This is part of their Black Label line. I'm still not 100% if this is going to be like, if this is an Elseworlds type of thing, or if this is in continuity. I will say right now that, I like the character of Jenny Sparks. I don't fully understand why she's back. Captain Atom is a character that I like a lot, and they're using him in this in a way that I don't like. But I'm kind of sticking it out because I want to see where this goes. If this issue could be a make or break for me. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue with this series after this. It's been a little rough, but this is by Tom King. The art has been good, and they are characters that I like, even when they're not used in ways that I like. Now, this one's a little risque. So from Hard Case Crime, we've got Heat Seekers from the Gun Honey series. Not a book I really knew anything about, other than this cover reminded me a little bit of Mrs. Hall, yeah, if I can be completely honest here. I love crime noir fiction. Raymond Chandler, Donald Westlake, the Parker novels. So Hard Case Crime has reprinted a lot of books from those authors. They found old books that were out of print and put them into print. So it's a genre that I'm interested in. But I will admit the cover kind of drew my eye. There is a way more risque cover. It is like full frontal. And the guy at the counter asked me if I wanted to order it, and I said no, for the record. But the next time I go back, I might. Another #1, I got this because it has a little bit of retro futuristic vibes. This is from Image. It's called The Rockefellers. I do love Francis Manapul, if I'm saying his name correctly, as an artist. I really like his art. I don't know anything about this going in. I kind of get like Fantastic Four vibes, like it's a family of superheroes or a family of adventurers. It definitely has a sci-fi look to it, and I'm interested to check it out. I have a habit. I pick up #1s and I give them a chance, so we'll see where this one goes. This is the first book from the Ghost Machine universe that I've ever picked up, and I'm excited to check it out and see what I think. A writer and artist I love is Jeff Lemire, and this is his new ongoing from Boom Studios. This is Major Arcana. This is issue 3. I'm going to admit that the first couple of issues have been a little slow, and generally, his storytelling kind of is. I love his art. It's not like the prettiest art in the world, but it works for the kind of stories that he's telling. And I think that once this really gets going, I'm going to enjoy it. From looking at, he has a plan for this to go on for, I think it's like 4 story arcs that he has planned, and this is just the first one. I am hoping it picks up a little bit, though, because the issues have been very sparse, and he's been telling a lot of the story with the art, and while I don't think there's anything wrong with that in and of itself, when you're paying, $4 or $5 an issue and you can read it very quickly because there's just not a lot to actually read, you start to feel like maybe you're not getting your money's worth. So I hope a little bit more starts happening with this, and even though it's been slow, I have enjoyed it. So Again, this might be one that, this might be a book that if it doesn't start picking up, I might not continue with, and I'll pick it up in a trade later. But he's just a creator that I really enjoy. He's had so many great books. Shout out to Eric at 9 Panel Grid. He's the one who turned me on to this book. This is The Moon is Following Us by Daniel Warren Johnson. This is issue number 3. The first 2 issues were, well, by the end of the second issue, the first 2 issues were wonderful. The first issue wasn't the best thing I ever read, but it was like, there were elements there that I enjoyed. I don't want to give away too much of the story here, but there's a girl who's in a coma, and her parents are trying to get her out of the coma through science fiction and fantasy type methodology by going into her dream world. And it's just a really interesting concept. I get this I get this feeling like you get when you read Saga, like it's a little whimsical, it's a little fantastical, but it's also a little dark and dangerous. And I just think there's a lot of potential here. So hopefully issue 3 kind of picks up where issue 2 left off and builds on that universe that they are, and builds on the universe that they've started creating. This has been a really interesting book. And I would definitely recommend that if you haven't read this, that you pick this one up. And the last book that I picked up, this is definitely this is going to be the last one I read. I always save the book I think I'm going to enjoy the most, put that one at the bottom of the pile. And for me, that's going to be Mythologies and Apocrypha. This is issue number 2 by Tim Lane. Issue number 1 came out last year, and I thought it was a one-shot. I didn't think that there would be any more. So issue number 1 kind of focused on, there was a lot of weird alternative history with Frank Sinatra and Elvis and Steve McQueen. The art is just intense. There's a lot of historical characters and pop culture characters from history, and the art is really good. I love that there's these fake ads in the front, and oh my gosh, we're getting a continuation. I'm really excited here. I'm getting a continuation of the Steve McQueen and Frank Sinatra saga that this guy has created. Look down here. I've got Charles Bronson and Peter Lawford and some other actors. So this is weird. I'm not going to say that it's not. I'm not even going to say that I completely understand it when I read it, but I have a blast reading it because I just love independent books like this. I think this one really has gone under people's radar. If you can track down issue 1, I recommend it. And definitely, if you can find this one at your local comic shop, I recommend that you pick it up. So those are the books I picked up this week. It's actually kind of a lot of books for me. I normally don't get that many, but there were just a lot of number 1s, and then things that just kind of caught my eye, things I wanted to give a chance. So I'm curious, just let me know below if there's anything in my pile that you pulled or that was on your pull list. Is there anything that I missed, something that maybe you got that you recommend that I give a chance? So now that I've shown off this week's books, it's time to go and give them a read. So thanks so much. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. You know what that means. It's New Comic Book Day, motherfucker.